Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to introduce many different twists and turns, as well as revelations in this film that will change the Skywalker saga and change our review of the past 8 Star Wars movies that come before this one by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, I will say that a lot of fans are very intrigued about how Palpatine is going to be utilized in this story, as well as the interactions between both Rey and Kylo Ren and what that's going to look like on the big screen. I think that by far, one of the big exciting elements of Episode 9 is to see and witness the very end of the Skywalker saga, something that has been in the works for 40 plus years. Now, with that being said, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very exciting for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence where it's explained that Kylo Ren travels to the wreckage of the Death Star, where it's said that he lands his new shuttle on a part of the wreckage, where it's explained that Kylo Ren is able to go inside of the wreckage itself. It said that this is where Kylo Ren is said to ignite his red crossguard lightsaber blade as he begins to hear strange whispers scattered around him, including the voices of Darth Vader and Luke as well as Palpatine. This is where it's said that Kylo Ren turns around and sees the figure of Dark Rey with her double-bladed red lightsaber, ignited, where it's said that Kylo begins to fight Dark Rey during his time inside of the Death Star. The fight is described to be brief yet very dramatic for Kylo and serves as a test for his character, where later it's ultimately revealed that Kylo was only fighting a vision of Dark Rey that was initiated by Palpatine from afar and is all said to take place in the 3rd act of Episode 9. It said that this takes place right before the battle between himself and the real version of Rey on top of the Death Star wreckage in the middle of a torrential and dangerous thunderstorm. Now, it said that this was Palpatine testing Kylo Ren's limits remotely to see what he would be able to do to defend himself from a dark figure like Rey that holds a dark side power within her. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, what I find to be so exciting about this is that this is, of course, expanding the Dark Rey sequences in Episode 9, in which, by the way, we will be getting a couple of them in this movie, more than one sequence involving Dark Rey. Now, what I like about the Death Star wreckage is that this is, of course, Kylo Ren exploring elements of the past, where he travels in there, ignites his red blade in order to get some light in this darkness, and he begins to hear whispers and begins to hear voices of Luke, Vader, and Palpatine, most likely because he is either near or close to Palpatine's throne room that is actually submerged. Now, what I like about Episode 9 is that they are revisiting some of these iconic locations, such as the 2nd Death Star, Yavin, Endor will also be showing up in this movie in a different light, on top of brand new worlds as well that will be introduced. So they're introducing old worlds and brand new worlds as well. So this is said to actually advance to a moment in which we have Kylo Ren turning around and witnessing Dark Rey, where he fights her in a lightsaber duel, a brief duel at that, until he ultimately reveals, or realizes I should say, that it's nothing more than just a vision. Now, there's more to the story here, is that this vision is said to be initiated by Palpatine himself, somewhat similar to what Luke's Force Ghost is going to do in Episode 9, where Luke's Force Ghost is going to initiate the visions of Han Solo in order to really make, a lot of regret pop up within Kylo Ren's soul. So what I like about this is that this is, of course, allowing us to see a battle between two dark side users in, a very unique way. Even though Rey is not really there, it's in the form of an actual vision of Rey as a darker version of herself, fighting Kylo Ren by Palpatine, who's initiating this actual vision to really see, what Palpatine, or to see what Kylo Ren is able to do by Palpatine's vision, I should say. So, with Episode 9 being a film that's going to have a lot of emotional moments just like this, and a lot of surprising sequences that involve Kylo Ren, Palpatine, Rey, like I've always said before in the past, this movie is actually aimed to be the darkest Star Wars film in the Skywalker saga, and that really is a big deal for the Star Wars community. It's all a matter of how it's going to be illustrated by JJ, Chris, and George, and whether or not it truly can top Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith, which in my book is the darkest Star Wars film so far, and if they could really beat that as the darkest Star Wars movie, that really is a big deal for the sequel trilogy. So, With that being said, this movie does have a lot going for it. It does have that opportunity to mark itself down as the best of the sequel trilogy without a doubt. I think a lot of fans are very intrigued about Palpatine. He really is the driving force of the hype of this movie. There's no denying that. You know, he really is somewhat similar to how Luke was the driving force of the hype of The Last Jedi, and sadly, a lot of people just did not agree with how Luke was handled in that film, in that actual film. Now we have a similar scenario where Palpatine is the driving force of the hype. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.